right, so for our loop function, let's get rid of this comment. And first thing we need to do is create a local variable. And we'll call it, this is for the value of the key or the note that's being played. We're calling it keyboard. So key val, the integer type key val, space equal to, and remember we have this plugged into the analog pin, so we use analog read, parentheses A0, semicolon. Okay. All right, so, and we want to read, we want to read the value that's coming there. Like that, what's happening is this key value will be the voltage that's on that particular pin there. Or will be related to the voltage that's going to this pin. However, that number is going to be, because the analog pin is going to be interpreted as something in between 0 and 1023. So let's do serial dot print, because we want to be able to have this display on our screen, and this will be the only thing that we're reading. So put ln, that's the last line, the last item. Display key val, semicolon. All right. All right, and then we'll go ahead and now because we have four different things, we're going to use an if statement. So we've used this before, if, and then in parentheses key val, that value of that key, space, and we use two equal signs. Okay, we use these because we're going to be comparing, we're going to be making comparisons. So if it is equal to 1023, look at, if you look at our schematic, back at the schematic, there is a switch that's directly, there is no resistor in front of it. So it's going to get the maximum, it's going to get, there'll be 5 volts going all the way through to the analog pin. So it should get, that's the maximum output you can get is 1023. So that's one value it can be. Then we'll add a curly bracket. And if that's the case, that particular button that we're pressing is the one without the resistor, it will see tone. And when we're using tone, we need to have two arguments here. So in parentheses, first, what pin is this connected to? This is for the piezo. So it's connected to digital pin 8. And then this will play note the item 0. Close bracket, and then close parentheses, semicolon. All right, so this is basically the first pin, like the first switch, excuse me, the push button switch. The push button switch on your breadboard that is wired to 5 volts without a resistor in front of it. That's what this is, and when you press it, it should be sending there should be a signal of 1023 at the analog pin A0. And if that is the case, then the response will be that the piezo will receive a signal that corresponds to the frequency that we've set at item 0 in our array. And item 0 is 260 hertz, and that corresponds to the note C. All right. So now, and once when you're using the if statement, then you have the else part of it. So let's move on to create the else conditions.